affairs and the protective measures implemented across the country to stop the spread of COVID-19 has forced us to think creatively to ensure we stay safe while honoring our nation's heroes. Before our ceremony begins, I'd like to acknowledge 15 years ago, Gibson's Veterans First Annual Day was the brainchild of our own Coach Emma Afadal. Today, we begin with a special acknowledgement of her father, Arnoldo Gutierrez, Army. I want to begin today by recognizing all those among us who have been part of the great brotherhood and sisterhood we call the U.S. military. Our veterans, active duty service members, guardsmen, and reservists, your service and sacrifice has kept our country safe and free. Interesting enough, the same was true a century ago as the world's population was finally beginning to recover from another pandemic, the Spanish flu. For disabled World War I Army veteran Judge Robert Marks, an idea was beginning to take shape during those tumultuous times that would impact the lives of countless veterans and their families for generations to come. He had witnessed how his fellow veterans fared after returning home from the war. Many seriously disabled and unable to find work or access proper medical care. He saw how few resources existed to aid those who served so honorably in the nation's defense, and he vowed to bring about a change. And indeed, he did. Judge Marks founded the Disabled Veterans of the World War, now known as DAV, to advocate for the men and women who risked all for the sake of this country, particularly those who were injured or became ill in the course of doing so. This year, as we mark Veterans Day and honor our nation's veterans and their selfless courage, we would be remiss if we did not also take the time to celebrate Judge Marks and the legacy he left behind, which enables us to do the work, enables the veterans to do the work they still do today. As I hand over the Master of Ceremonies, I'd like to introduce our Assistant Principal, Mrs. Melissa Carrion.
Thank you. Thank you. Good morning to all. Welcome students, staff, parents, especially our veterans, to Gibson Elementary's 15th annual Veterans Day celebration. I just can't believe it's been 15 years. Wow. Okay, I'm Miss Carrion. I'm so excited to be your Master of Ceremonies for the first time in our 15 years. Before we start, I want to begin by reminding everyone to remain on mute. Just please keep your mics on mute. We want to remain respectful during our celebration, and I just know we can do it. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. First, we have the presentation of colors presented by our U.S. Coast Guard color card.
March. Colors. Oh. Present. On.
Okay, welcome back. Next, we're going to have our student speaker, Jacoby Martinez from fourth grade here at Gibson, and he is going to be helping us along with our Pledge of Allegiance. I want to remind everyone now, even though we're on Zoom, we are still showing our respectfulness for our flag and we are remaining standing. Now, I present Jacoby Martinez with our Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Very, very nice. Thank you, Jacoby. Next, we have our fourth grader here at Gibson Elementary, Lacey Lozano, and Lacey is going to be leading us with the Texas Pledge.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to the Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
Very, very, very nice. I want to thank our students for coming up. It's not easy coming up here and standing in front of the camera, and they are showing courage for us. Next, we have a guest speaker. We have Lieutenant Jessica Wright from the U.S. Coast Guard with some special words for us.
Morning, Gibson Elementary. I'm Lieutenant Jessica Wright, a helicopter pilot from the United States Coast Guard. Thank you for inviting me here to talk with you today. The United States Coast Guard was founded over 230 years ago when President George Washington authorized the construction of 10 vessels to enforce federal trade laws and prevent smuggling. In 1915, the Revenue Cutter Service at the time merged the United States Life Saving Service to form the United States Coast Guard. This made the Coast Guard the only maritime service dedicated to saving lives at sea and enforcing maritime laws. Since those early days, the Coast Guard has expanded its missions to protecting the maritime environment, enforcing the nation's laws at sea, guarding over 100,000 miles of U.S. coastline and ports, performing vital life-saving missions. Today, I am fortunate enough to be a helicopter pilot for the world's greatest Coast Guard. I grew up always admiring those who serve their country and hope to do the same. After I graduated high school, I attended the United States Coast Guard Academy, where I studied civil engineering. Once I graduated, I was lucky enough to attend Naval Flight School in Pensacola, Florida, where I got to fly some pretty awesome aircraft. Once I completed flight school, I reported here to Corpus Christi, Texas, where I fly the Dolphin helicopter. I've been flying for a little over 2 years now, and while some would disagree, I think I have the coolest job in the world. Being a helicopter pilot and representing females in the military are two things I take great pride in. Currently, women make up only 10% of veterans in the United States. In the Coast Guard, women started serving their country as lighthouse keepers over 200 years ago, and amazing women have blazed the trails behind them to allow me to serve alongside my male counterparts in the helicopter. I would like to thank all of the men and women who have served their country and continue to serve their country. I'm honored to be part of such an amazing group of people. Also, if you're at the beach and see an orange helicopter flying over, be sure to give us a wave. I promise we'll give you a wave back.
Okay, thank you to Lieutenant Jessica Wright of the U.S. Coast Guard. Next up in our celebration, we have a student speaker, also from Gibson Elementary. We have fourth grader Angel Garcia, and Angel is going to be reciting a poem for us titled Dear Veteran.
Dear veterans, those of us who have not served will never fully understand the sacrifices you've made. Both in times of peace and of war, we will never fully understand what you were required to do or how you were able to do it. We will never fully understand the depth of your scars, but what we can offer you is this. We see you, we recognize your humanity, and we send you love that is gentle, patient, and healing, with blessings and gratitude. We ask that you remember you are loved. Thank you.
Very, very nice, Angel. And yes, veterans, we do. We send you recognition, we send you love, we send you healing, and we send thanks. Very, very nice, Angel. Next, we have a guest speaker. We have Mr. Samuel Ramirez of the Patriot Guard Rider. And he is also going to be reciting a poem that is titled The Veteran.
Greetings, Gibson Elementary, parents, fellow veterans. I am Samuel Ramirez of the Patriot Guard Riders of South Texas. It is an honor to give this poem to you, the veteran. When our nation called, we stood to be counted. Our ear was not deaf. We made no excuse. We marched with honor, our strength in God. The salvation of peace demands the ultimate prize from time to time, as freedom is not free. As standard bearers, we must pay her cost. We left a part of our heart across many lands, across many seas, to live in the children of the world. We will never forget our fallen, voices we no longer hear in the Arizona, the Inchon, the Gulf, or on our knees before the wall we walk through life. As the heroes of our time, our spirits feel the footprints. Our hearts will always cry in silence. Some of us came home. Some of us did not. Thank you. Thank you very much, Gibson. I apologize.
Thank you, Mr. Ramirez. And again, we thank you for your services here at Gibson Elementary. Next, students, staff, I do want to just a reminder that we are going to remain silent right now in honor of TAPS. Very, very nice. Right now, we want to take time to recognize our veterans from World War II, Korean conflict, Vietnam War, Desert Storm, Iraq, Afghanistan, and the Patriot Honor Guard for their service to our community. We will now have a slide presentation honoring the veterans that are here from, that are our family here from Gibson Elementary students and staff.
If tomorrow all the things were gone, I'd work for all my life, and I had to start again with just my children and my wife. I thank my lucky stars to be living here today, 'cause the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today, 'cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining sea, from Detroit down to Houston and New York to LA, where there's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say that I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today, 'cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. But I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today, 'cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the
Yes, that is just, it's beautiful. And yes, veterans, today we stand for you. In closing, I want to say a special, special thank you to all who participated in our assembly. A special, special thank you to the U.S. Coast Guard, the Color Guard, Petty Officer Jacob Lauer, Petty Officer Thomas Dunning, Petty Officer Andrew Cuddy, and Fireman Mario Martinez. Thank you to our guest speaker, Lieutenant Jessica Wright of the U.S. Coast Guard. Thank you to our guest speaker, Samuel Ramirez of the Patriot Guard Riders. Thank you to our brave student speakers, Lacey Lozano, Angel Garcia, and Jacoby Martinez. Thank you to Mr. Vela, who's running the technology part of our assembly. It truly takes talent. Thank you to our Gibson staff who are tuning in today, and so that way our students can be a part of our assembly. Thank you to Ms. Cantu, our parent liaison. She works extremely hard, long hours, putting everything together for us. And last, but definitely not least, a special thank you to Coach Emma Alfaro. Emma, Miss Alfaro, I know you're listening. And just a little recap, 15 years ago, Coach Alfaro did start our Veterans Day celebration tradition. She started this in honor of her father. And Coach, I am honored to be a part of today's festivity, and I look forward to continuing Gibson's tradition that you started for us. Thank you to the students, staff, parents for attending. This concludes our 15th annual Gibson Veterans Day celebration. Thank you.